Howdy, everyone. Welcome back to a win. I feel like we haven't won in a while. I don't actually remember when our last win was, but it feels like it's been ages.
Yeah.
And it was a good win. We had a fun time watching this game, I'd say. As I got to hear Dave Ben say, the successful was unsuccessful. So that was my win of a night.
And Jim, I dare say that with 56 seconds left, I don't think they're going to get 110. You know what? I don't even think they're going to sniff 100.
Well, they sniffed it, but they didn't get it.
Mm-hmm. You're right.
Because they ended up with 99 and we had 119, right?
Who's counting?
Well, apparently me. So.
Oh yeah. Sorry, my bad.
But yes, we're back winning. I think this takes us now to the 7th seed, or is it just? Yeah, I think it takes us into the 7th seed.
I think who's counting?
We're 21 and 22, which is tied with the Lakers, and I think we win the tiebreaker with the Lakers. I could be wrong.
The Chicago Bulls are the fucking 1 seed. What?
They are the 1 seed, but
they lost Levine for a bit.
Yeah, they're having some troubles. So
yeah, we're the 6th, 7th seed right now. With Denver, crushing the Warriors the other day.
Mm-hmm.
Or who was it? Oh, the Lakers. It was the Lakers the other day. Yeah.
I was just agreeing. But yes. Yeah, and we're not really that far behind them. So we still do have a pretty good chance at catching up to that seed. And honestly, I mean, we're halfway through the season, so we shouldn't get too down or too high, just like we shouldn't do all year. And I think this is a game where we can't get too high because I think a lot of people are on cloud nine right now because we beat the Warriors.
Yeah.
And to quote the Lakers announcer, speaking of the Lakers, we are kind of acting like this is a game 7. A little bit too much celebration, not so much from the players, but definitely from the fans. I feel a lot of happiness, which is fine. Obviously, you celebrate wins, but I do think it's important to not get too ahead of ourselves because there are still many things with this team that are flawed. I mean, Ant did not have a great night tonight. Given all the flawed things, I care less about when we win, but it's still important. I mean, Ant did not have a good game tonight. And Towns still started the game off very typical Townsy. But I will say, for everybody that's coming in here and everybody hears my complaining about Towns, he had a pretty good night tonight.
A pretty good game. This is like the kind of effort that I'd like to see out of my big man.
Yeah, and if we had this every single time, that's great. I think the one thing that still remains with me, but I won't go on a tangent, I promise, is like in the beginning of the game, he just comes out very like vanity focused. He's very like doing kind of like herky jerky, trying to like show off in a way. But throughout the game, that went away this time, which is something that we haven't seen in the past. And he really reeled it in. Started making some like post moves, even though he's still not like a great post player because he's lost so much weight. But he was making some shots and he was making some winning plays late in the game, like third and fourth quarter, that I feel like I haven't seen a lot of from Towns this year. So that was exciting to me. Lots of great D'Lo assists. I can see we've already got some tension on D'Lo tonight, but
cool.
But yeah, no, I thought overall pretty good performance from everybody.
Yeah, I really like the energy, even though Towns had a kind of a wonky first half. I kind of liked what he was trying to do. Like Carl Vanity Towns is okay in doses, but I liked what he was trying to do. Like force it early, try to get the calls early. He was a little too aggressive on the defensive end. That's okay. That takes a toll when he gets into foul trouble. He didn't really pick up another foul after that. That's pretty cool. So I guess I'm looking at the wrong. I'm looking at Kevon Looney. So it is box score. So yes, he picked up another foul, but that's fine. Whatever. Anywho, what was that? Drink milk? Yeah, that's drink milk, everyone.
That was not milk.
Oh, it looked like milk.
Lactose intolerant.
Yeah. Same Z's.
Wow, twinning.
Yeah, it was a fun game. You know what was really cool? The energy from the bench. Like, who are we kidding? We have no fucking bench. Tonight they came out to play, and it was really fun against the Warriors to really just like fucking just take it to them. And when there was like a kind of like a whose game is it kind of thing in the third, the bench kind of came and took it over the hump, and I'm really happy about that. Extended the fucking lead. Holy crap, we never see that out of our bench. So it was nice to see. And yeah, like I don't know, what did Jim Peterson say? Like, it's Malik's night, and it was like 4 for 6 or something like it's a weird commentary. But honestly, I don't think it was Beasley that did much, or not did much, but it was like the whole mob as a whole. Like McDaniels was killer, Nasri did okay, Noel was killer. Prince had solid minutes when he came in for the time he did. And we got to see MK Wright the fourth. I don't know what his name is. What's his nickname?
McKinley Wright.
Machine Gun. Machine Gun Righty.
Machine Gun the fourth. But yeah, no, I mean it was fun to see a lot of different things like you're talking about with the bench, and like we got to see at a time. I mean, we had both the lowest lows with with Beasley this game, and we had the highest highs with Beasley this game. For first half of the game, I think most of us watching were like, let's absolutely not have Beasley on our team anymore. Like, I don't care if we can even trade him for anything because he's just terrible. And then he comes out the second half and is flamethrower from 3, and he got a little too heat checky near the end, given we were up by 20, but still, I mean, he made like 5 threes in a row or something like that. So that's incredible. And at the same time, you have Jalen Noel come back. And so those two are the kind of people that you kind of had pitted against each other in a way. And they both performed well. So, I mean, and that's what we're going to need. I do think that Noel continues to win me over every day with his play and his decision making. I think Dave Ben said it best tonight. He chose the right time to be selfish, And
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
I've called him selfish in the past before with his play, but I do think that it is kind of becoming more of like a reliable selfishness in a way,
Yeah, yeah,
where we
okay.
want him taking his shots at the right time, we want him driving at the right time. And I think we saw that tonight.
Mhm. Absolutely, and it was really cool to see them dabbing and playing and passing to each other. The Beasley Noel tandem splash bros from the bench. It was cool to see that.
Yeah.
On the other side of the coin, Andrew Wiggins.
Oh yeah, I didn't even
Where he
mention
is?
that.
Where he is?
Yeah, he was not good tonight. And realistically, I was super surprised the first time that we went up against him and he had a revenge game. Not that I'm surprised that Wiggins is going to have a revenge game against the teams like Toronto, Cleveland, all stuff like that. But I mean, I just feel like he just literally does not care about Minnesota. He does not care about anything. He doesn't have any real like. I mean, I think he has maybe a little ill will towards us, but like, I don't know. He's still Wiggins, you know. And if he's gonna be like the main person on the team, which I mean, he kind of was, I guess, tonight. But not really even because like you
Right.
had like Jordan Poole out there who was taking a lot of shots. You had, I mean,
Domingo kind of
yeah,
felt like the player of the night for them.
yeah, exactly. So you
Yeah.
just had like weird people that kind of stepped in and took over, which
Mhm.
didn't. I mean, it worked for a while for them. I mean, they were up in the third quarter by 4, um, but yeah, this is more of the Wiggins that we expected. And funny enough, the D'Lo versus Wiggins battle was kind of terrible.
I'll trade you a max and a max.
Yeah, we both get
So not without a
underperforming
first.
max players. Yeah.
I guess the throw-in of the first pick actually was the player of the night of those
True.
trades. Yeah, not much really to say. I love the energy. I love the vibe from the team overall. Them like picking each other up after, Cat could have just phoned it in. He
Yeah.
was getting no calls early in the game, and he could have literally phoned it in, gotten into foul trouble, had it like 35 minutes of Nas Reed, and like they would have driven to the paint. But that team, I don't feel like they have many like playmakers on that team that can really create for themselves. They heavily rely on the gravity that is Stephen Curry. And I think without them, without like a full squad, they're in like deep doo doo here for the next couple of weeks. Like I don't know what Steph Curry's like outlook is right now, but I know that Draymond's out till probably February, and I forgot that they had that. I know what he looks like, but that first round pick from last year, James Wiseman,
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
also out until February. So like, yeah, it's cool to see Clay again. Honestly, it's great to see him and like him making that 1-3 and like the crowd going wild. That's interesting. The world goes wild for this team, and that's fun to see. But also, this team is not complete without Stephen Curry, and I'm glad we kicked their ass. Holy shit!
Yes.
Because if
Yes.
we like squeaked out a win, I would have been worried. I would have had a bunch of questions, and I still kind of do. But if we got our asses kicked, I would have phoned it in. I would have like taken the 3 months off. Like I wouldn't have watched this team. This is a game I kind of circled on my calendar, like a good like kind of like a press point of like where we are, a pulse of the team, where we stand. Because it was right around the middle of the season. I kind of did circle this game, so I was really hyped for it. I'm glad that we pulled it out. And
Yeah.
yeah, cool.
Funny enough, I was watching the end of our last show to see, because I couldn't remember if you were available tonight and I was too shy to ask you. So I just looked to see our conversation and I came across us talking about this game, obviously.
Yeah.
And we were very wisely saying this is a very important game. Like what we come out and play like against this Warriors team, given we were talking about two healthy teams at the time. But we were like, this is like this was kind of a make or break game, not for the season, but like it was one of the biggest games of the season for the Timberwolves, just because of where our record was, just because of how things were going for us recently, and the importance of beating a team like the Warriors, who are a good team. Even without Steph, even without Draymond, they're still a good team. So it's and Wiggins obviously plays well for them, but it was a good game, and I'm glad we won it. Yeah, but shout out to a couple questions in chat that I have to answer. So first, Jelson, what camera do you use? Me? Oh, okay. I use a Sony A7 III, and I have different lenses. This is a different lens tonight, so that's probably why everybody's talking about it. But also, Timberwolves Daily, thanks for stopping by. If you guys are here from Timberwolves Daily, don't forget to like the stream, subscribe. I think we're back under 100.
Make sure to tune in tomorrow, where Timberwolves Daily has special guest Dane Moore.
That's crazy.
That's crazy.
That's insane.
Congrats, man. That's awesome.
Seriously.
Make sure to ask about the specials at that bar that he gives $1 off pints on.
But
that was dumb.
And then also Timberwolves Daily says, as soon as I saw y'all tweet I'm stealing this under the Noel pick on Twitter, I knew it'd be the thumbnail, and you were right.
Yeah.
Jordan Poole is better than Andrew Wiggins. Also, Momo in the chat a while ago, with how much success the team is having with D'Lo screens and Noel production off the bench, we need to trade for Eric Gordon and Nurkic. Whoa.
That just came on a note.
I was not expecting the end of that sentence.
So Nurkic is available in trades.
For who?
That'd
though?
be interesting to get feelers, but yeah. And then Eric Gordon could probably be had for like fucking peanuts, because they're just probably trying to unload him. But I don't know, man. Like, that'd be crazy to have someone like that off the bench. That'd be cool.
Yeah, definitely. And then
wasn't on my radar at all.
Yeah, no, neither one of them really. Golden State's playing last road game of a 4-game trip without Draymond and Steph. Oh, and then Gary Payton Jr. I kind of expected him to have a big night tonight, and I didn't even realize he was off the court. Okay, yeah. So I mean, it still is big though, because obviously the Timberwolves were kind of struggling lately, and to win a game regardless against the opponent is nice. And this team isn't as bad as the teams that we have been playing and beating. So it's just good, but we still have a tricky schedule coming up. Some 500 teams, some over 500 teams like the Nets next Sunday. So we have some real tests coming up, but as long as we can stay 500, we're going to be smooth sailing to the playoffs. So, but yeah, relief. Wiggins finally had a bad game against the Wolves. Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
True. All right.
Let's sneak into that tier list of ours.
Let's do it. And I changed something that I think you changed forever ago, and I've just been too lazy to do. I did an up next category instead of did not play, because I have not been using it anyways. So
nice.
So we've got up next. Cool. And I have kind of a lot of players in there tonight, so we don't have to do them all. I know we typically like to do the stars, but since the bench played so well, I felt it might be fair to even just give some very quick individual grades to certain players. So, but we're going to start. Momo responded. Momo, those two are players that are realistic for us to get. Really don't like other players like Ben Simmons, Turner, because of how much it would cost. That's true. I mean, that's a valid point, because like both Turner and Simmons are going to cost everything, everything that you have outside of maybe some of your starters, and maybe Turner's a little bit easier to be had than like a Simmons, but yeah, no, I think that's actually some really good names to fill in.
Cool
instead.
Names to think about.
Yeah.
I haven't done my homework or research, or I haven't done the thought exercises of who else could be out there. And then the names I kind of think of are just like, why? Those are kind of just like another set of background players that may or may not have a difference. But cool to think about. Nice names, and cool for you to stop it and check us out, Momo.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right. So I've got, let me see. I think I have 8. Oh, I only have 8 players. Never mind. I thought I was going off. I thought there was like 10 players on here. Okay. Obviously, Glenn Taylor tier is Juancho. But anyways, let's do some quick grades. I don't have my notepad out, so do you want to just say it?
Let's just go.
Okay.
Let's go like rapid fire, 20 seconds or less.
Exactly.
Yeah, probably what? Let's start with the bench. Let's start with
I have Jaden up first.
Jaden, let's go, Jaden. 21 points, 9 points, a plus 27 team high, 2 block shots, 2 steals, only 3 fouls, assists. I don't know why I'm reading everything out.
I think I'm ready. All right, you ready?
All right, yeah.
3, 2, 1.
A.
Yeah. I agree.
Right on. He was a slayer out there, and there was a couple awesome block shots, a couple early steals that he did, and just kind of set the tone when he came in. I think there was like we were, if not tied, slightly ahead, and then we went on an 18-4 run when he first came in. It was pretty cool to see that. And then, some awesome defense, kind of like taking it to Andre Iguodala a couple times. It was cool to see.
Yeah, a couple crazy blocks. Yep. All right, next up, we've got Jalen Noel. He had 17 points, 4 assists, 6 of 9 shooting, and that's probably all. He had 4 personal fouls apparently too. But and then the one that he was yelling with, or arguing with Scott Foster at the end of the game, and Scott Foster is like, "That's a foul every day of the week."
Every day of the week.
Yeah, I was like, why are we hearing this? But I'm okay.
More of that, please.
Yeah,
actually.
I know. Yeah, please do that more. I am ready.
Yeah, sure.
3, 2, 1. A?
Hey,
Yeah.
yeah, a little bit like high's a high, low's a low, right?
Yeah.
And we got him back. He didn't look like he had missed a swing in his step. And I was a little worried about him when he first got knocked in his fucking teeth by
Mm-hmm.
Kuminga. But man, like 9 points in that first stint and 8 points in the second half. It was awesome to see. And he could, he can pass it just like kind of typical backcourt cards and from the bench. So I'm happy about that. And while he probably got some ticky-tack fouls, that's going to have to be cleaned up. For a game like this, it's fine to be aggressive. Try doing a little bit extra.
100%. Agree. Next up, we've got Malik Threesley. 16 points, 5 of 10 shooting, and all 5 of his makes were threes.
Nice.
You ready?
Yeah.
I am ready. 3,
Cool.
2, 1, B.
A.
Oh.
Okay, I'm on this like highs a high, lows a low. I probably should have said B for Beasley. The reason why I said A is just because he's been a fucking miserable, washed up bench player that we can't rely on, and all of a sudden his value is just slightly ticked up. So we have to promote him, be positive instead of a B, because we got a blowout win is an A.
Yeah, Indiana. He is an A1 tonight. But no, I'd say a B tonight just because he had such a bad first half. He was missing shots, and it just looked like, man, oh man, it keeps getting worse somehow. Even though I keep trying to say like, oh, you got to keep waiting for Malik because he had this weird offseason, so it's going to take him forever. Like, I'm getting to the point where I'm kind of like, okay, we need production now. So I'm going to give him a B.
Cool, I like it.
Next up, we've got Patrick Beverly. Okay, so we're on to the starters now. Patrick Beverly. He had 10 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists. That's pretty much it. And then he got into it with Jordan Poole a tiny, tiny bit.
Cool. I'm ready.
I think I am ready as well. 3, 2, 1, C.
C?
Yeah.
Yeah. Even in a loss, he could probably be a C playing like this, but I didn't notice him at all. And I guess that's okay. We didn't really need him to be this like, instigator and kind of like this like player to like whine about on the opposition.
Yeah.
He was just there. And I guess the coolest thing about this game tonight was he made a couple threes.
He did. And also, what is more reliable than a Pat Bev floater?
Oh yeah, that was cool.
I don't think I'd ever. Honestly, I don't know why I have this confidence in Beasley, but if I see Beasley take a 3, I think it's going in every time. I don't know why. I shouldn't believe that.
His form looks good.
But yeah, it does. And I just have a lot of confidence in it. But that's how I feel about Pat Bev's floaters as well. Except they actually do go in a lot of time. So yeah, I totally agree. This is the game you expect out of Pat Bev. And it's a good game. Nothing wrong with it. Just I expect this. So, all right. Anyways, next up, let's do... I kind of did this in the wrong order. Let's actually do Vanderbilt first. So,
sure.
Jared Vanderbilt, 10 points, only 6 rebounds tonight, 5 of 5 dunking, and 2 personal fouls. Are you ready?
Yeah.
All right, 3, 2, 1, C.
B. Ooh.
I could maybe be convinced up to a B, but I guess it's almost the same exact feedback that you gave for Patrick Beverly is why I would give Vanderbilt a C, just because I think I was very excited for Vanderbilt going into this game. I was like, yes, he's going to be stuffing Wiggins. Wiggins will like have 12 turnovers because he can't handle Vanderbilt on him. And sure, Vanderbilt still had the effect that he always does, but the rebounds weren't there as much, given obviously that can come and go, and he had lots of good putbacks. I guess, maybe this is a B game from him, but I do think that this was pretty close to what I expect out of him at this point.
Cool. I'll blow you away here. My analysis is simple. We weren't doing shit on offense in the first quarter without Vanderbilt, and the pick and rolls with D'Lo were automatic, and it was necessary because Cat wasn't going, Ant wasn't going, no one was going except for actually Vando. And so just to keep in touch with whatever the fuck Golden State was doing, Wiggins had a couple of shots early, right? So it was nice to see that. And the energy was palpable because we translated with our bench unit when he was subbed out. We got some energy out of McDaniels. We got some energy out of the other bigs. I think it's like it trickles into that kind of conversation. I think we didn't need him in the second half. Like after that, we got that tie. That after we got that lead, we never let it go. He's not necessarily there and required anymore. We're kind of blowing them out with our 3-point shooting. He's less required then, right? So,
Yeah.
I mean, he made his shots, man. That's awesome. And he did what he needed to do to stop whoever was attacking us. And I think he was on Klay Thompson for the most part for that
Oh,
first stint. And
maybe.
so, like, honestly, that's fine for me.
I wasn't even paying attention to that, so you're probably right. I gave him a B. So he's a B. All right, and
Yeah.
quick interjection. Welcome to the
Yeah.
stream, anybody that's new. If you're new, give us a like. Also, special opportunity for anybody that's not subbed. We're at 99 subs right now. So who wants to
Wow.
be the 100th sub? We'll give you like a free NFT. No, I'm just kidding.
That's crazy.
Anyways, next up, Anthony Edwards.
No.
9 points, 2 assists, a rebound, 3 of 8 shooting. No personal fouls, I guess, but and only 2 turnovers. But are you ready?
Yeah.
I am too. 3, 2, 1, D.
Ooh, we did it. We did it to him. I'm sorry, Anthony Edwards with a big D. Whoa! I heard myself. That was so stupid. Why would I ever say that out loud? But I did.
Flip it.
Well, apparently, Alan Horton 2 minutes ago tweeted that he's just sitting on the court right now, taking shots right now. So that's cool to see. He wasn't aggressive at all. He was basically like Patrick Beverly, just barely out there. And it was cool to maybe see him kind of post up or get posted up by Wiggins and just like not do anything either. No one was really taking over the game from either end. Yeah, like what was his purpose, his role, his effort was ass. And I thought, after the first half, he'd come out aggressive, as he would say in post games, and he needs to be a full-time player. He needs to be a 4-quarter player. But he wasn't even anything tonight. It was cool to see that dunk, and that's why he's on an F.
Yeah, and he almost missed that.
I can't believe I said that.
Yeah. I thought you were purposefully saying it, so I didn't even react.
No. Soft E, big D. And that's even terrible to say out loud right now.
Twice, you're doubling
Fuck
down.
me.
But no, that dunk scared me a little bit. I thought he was gonna like hurt himself or something. But still good to see. I was actually thinking during this game, man, is Ant done dunking? It's I mean, I hate these similarities that he has to Wiggins at times, where he's like kind of sitting in the corner doing nothing for a lot of the game, and then also like he's sort of stopped dunking, and I'm like, are we ever gonna see a dunk again? And I know we will, but like it just isn't happening as much lately. And I mean, I guess young players go through these phases, and that's what I'm going to chalk it up to for now. But at the same time, there are expectations for this team, and Ant is a big part of those expectations. And the reason he's a D tonight is because, I mean, he didn't perform well, and he also didn't give himself a chance to really perform well or bad. Only took 8 shots, and we want more. At the same time, I don't want 12 more of his patented step back 3 things, unless that is so reliable. One thing I did want to say about Ant really quickly before we moved on was, that move that we see from him. He does it every game, like 8 to 12 times a game. And it's frustrating to watch because we all know it's coming. But at the same time, there's these other top tier players out there that have a move, like James Harden has his move and he's successful at it, and that's okay to be successful. But, I think with Ant, it's kind of in my mind between whether it's a successful move for him or if it's just him settling, and I do think that is more of him settling. But if it is his move, then it needs to be made at like minimum 40% clip, just because it's not a good move. It takes everybody out of the offense. It's usually pretty quick in the shot clock. So I don't know. Just overall, not a huge fan of it. But yeah, that's why he is a D.
Yeah. There's moments where I just wonder where he wants to be on the court and like how he wants to fill in the role of like the guy with the ball or the guy who gets the catch and shoot. When he's catch and shoot, it's awesome. When it's the guy on the ball, he ball hogs and he has a black hole tendency. And he gives like grenades out to people. He was okay tonight. And it was kind of a weird thing where Cat had it going in the third. D'Lo kind of had it going in the first with his passing to open Vandos and all that stuff. And so he didn't want to take over that vibe, I felt. But like when there was a balance where it was like, whose game is this? Like who can we take and rely on? We didn't really have anyone except for our bench. And so Anthony Edwards, I think I would like you to be performing better than our bench replacements.
Yeah, yeah. And I agree. A couple things in chat. We are the 7th seed now, which is
Yeah,
good.
it's cool.
Talked about that a little bit earlier. And then Momo, I do agree with you. They said I might be in the minority, but I do not hate Ant taking threes. I agree. I am kind of down for Ant taking threes. It's just that it's so like streaky right now, where he'll have like a really good 3-point shooting game and then a really bad one, like 1 of 9 the next one. So he goes 6 of 12 1 of 9 the next, and then like tonight he barely takes any shots. It's all over the place. He's young, but like still. But yeah, and exactly as Jake Erickson's saying at the same time as me, he can take some smarter threes for sure, but he's still young, 100%. So, all right, next up, Godfrey, are you here?
You're his favorite player.
D'Lo. Okay, so D'Lo's up, and D'Lo only played 22 minutes tonight.
Yeah. Right.
And was yanked by Finch at a point for quite some time. Had 7 points.
The rest of the game.
Yeah. 3 rebounds, 12 assists, 2 steals, 2 of 9 shooting. Wow, I thought he made more shots in the first, but I guess I'm wrong, because I was under what you just said. Like he was kind of like hot in the beginning, but that was more with his passing. So yeah, he had 5 turnovers. Yeesh. Okay,
I'm ready.
Are you ready? Okay, 3, 2, 1.
D'Lo. Yeah. Ooh, D for D'Lo. I have a C for D'Lo because Godfrey's ready. The reason why I say C is just because of the energy in the first quarter. It was like theirs for the taking. It was not our game. We were ass, and it wasn't for D'Lo's passing to Vando, to the open shooters that were missing their shots. You know, we weren't anywhere in this game. I think he had like 6 dimes in the first quarter. That was pretty sick to see. His third quarter stint was also pretty nice. He fed Cat a couple times. That was great to see. And yeah, if it weren't for his passing, he'd be an F, if not Wancho tier, because he was a dud. His shots were very, very short. And I thought he was looking a little lazy out there too, like on defense as well. So
yeah, which is funny because, speaking of Dane Moore tweeted out before the game that D'Lo looked more motivated than he's ever been for any other game. Wow. And but I totally agree with you in saying that like he didn't look that into it, other than that first quarter where he was diming it to Vanderbilt, like over and over again. He again was not very noticeable, and also similar to what you just said. Other than that first quarter, I mean, we're talking Wancho, Glenn Taylor, not good tiers. I can't believe I said that with like such a straight face. Yeah, Wancho or Glenn Taylor tier was definitely in the future for him without that first quarter. And even the first quarter, there was like Godfrey's pointing out, he was 0 of 5 from 3 in the first half, and 4 turnovers. So, it was just not good. And realistically, he played the bulk of his minutes in the first half. So it was a pretty bad game from D'Lo. But you're right. We didn't have anything else going in the beginning. Towns was playing funky in the beginning. I didn't like it. And kind of kept us in there. I mean, we were tied 10-10, and yeah, just kept us in. So I'll say a D. Honestly, kind of lower D tier for me, but
fine. Put him in there. That's fine. I'd be okay with that, and I'm comfortable with that because there's so much room for him to be this all-star that we want him to be, and this was just the carpet of like unraveling the carpet, not actually stepping on it. I don't know what that expression was. It's just like he was there, he's helping other people, but not really doing anything for himself. You know what? There were moments where I thought D'Lo was like, oh, this is my game. Because it's like the former team. It's like that blood that is there. Clay's on him. He's like, oh, I'm going to take Clay. And like something like that was kind of cool. Like he got Clay on this like, like up and under or whatever he did or whatever that was, the reach through or whatever it was. That was cool to see. But like, yeah, I don't know. I want way more out of D'Lo. And I just like, as Gerald DM'd me in game, like this is the most unconvincing blowout victory in the Timberwolves this season. I'm like, well, okay, that's great and all, but like, we need more from our stars for sure.
Yeah.
We only had, we would have lost this game if it weren't for Noel and Beasley. Like if Noel wasn't in this game, if Noel is still hurt,
we don't win.
No, I don't know if we win.
I know he didn't score. I mean, like he only scored 7. I mean, only scored 17. We won by 20, but like I legitimately don't believe that we are even close in this game if we don't have Noel or Beasley, I guess.
What was it? What did they do at the end of the start of the third quarter? They took away Clay's three because he was out of bounds or something. Like that is the difference in the game right there.
Yes.
That 3 and 17 points from Noel.
That's true.
Anyways,
yeah, no, and speaking of the starters, you're like, obviously we're gonna get to Towns next, but like the bench is what won us this game, and
absolutely.
All three of our top 3 stars were relatively bad.
They were meh.
I mean, like Towns had the best game out of the 3 of them by far.
By far, yeah.
But like overall, like was there ever any like true takeover from any 3 of those? No, I mean the takeover came from the bench as a whole. And I'm starting to just have doubts about the big 3 that we have assembled and their ability to play together well. We've seen very few times where all 3 of them are clicking and we win. The last game they all had a lot of points, and they were the bulk of our points. They had like 80 some odd points or something like that out of the 100 that we scored. But man, I have doubts. But anyways, we're gonna get on to the probably player of the night, maybe player of the night. We'll see.
Maybe.
Karl Anthony Towns. So, Karl Anthony Towns had 26 points, 11 rebounds, 2 blocks, 11 of 20. From the field. He was 3 of 5 from the line, so he did get to the line, and a couple of those were and one opportunities. Actually, were all
most of them were probably, yeah.
Kind of crazy. So that was good to see. And then only 1 turnover tonight from Towns. That's good, and only 3 personal fouls, and he actually racked 2 of those up in the first quarter. So
that's cool. Yeah. I'm ready.
I think. Let me take a second to think. I don't want to get canceled. I think I'm ready.
Yeah.
Okay. 3.
Cool. We might be different on this.
I think we are going to be different on this.
Yeah.
3, 2, 1. B.
B. Okay. And it's a high B.
Yeah,
it's like the B. It's the B player of the game.
Yes. Yep. Exactly.
And it's not an A because I think we expect more routinely from him. 1 for 6 from 3 is not going to cut it. 3 for 5 from the free throw line is cool. It's kind of cool that Kuminga grabs your arm or Otto Porter grabs your arm, and you get the calls.
Finally.
You were probably really, really struggling just mentally in this game because of all the lack of calls your way. But then you tried to fucking show it for a while, and that really put you out of the game for a minute.
Mm-hmm.
It was great to see you getting double-digit rebounds. Like, keep going. Like, I'm preaching to you, Kat. Like, you're going to take us to wherever you want to go. But, I saw you basically take yourself out of the game for a minute there. And we expect better. And we need to, because you're our vet. You're our all-star. You're the potential all-star of this team to take us to the, the 6th seed and above. So we're a 500 team with this kind of level of play. We need something better than this. So that's my reasoning. And it was great to see him go to the paint, have lanes to play in, and have the give and go, that chemistry that's building with D'Lo. It's really cool to see. But lack of shooting, lack of awareness, a couple of plays that were just so off-putting, where he got the offensive rebound and he like went to the corner 3 and chucked it. And he's like, there's no rhythm there.
Yeah.
I hated that so much.
Yes.
And I even saw him try to get that leg out, kick out thing, just to, like, prove a fucking point. It felt like
right off the bat. It was one of his first threes.
Yeah. It's like, well, I hate to sound like a hater, but he played great tonight. Yeah. Like, all things considered, I'm expecting things, and so he exceeded those expectations. But we're trying to make a playoff run here. We need him to be an A player at all times.
100%. And it was kind of talked about a little bit in the Timberwolves Daily Show before ours. But Towns, there's been very few games where like he learns throughout the game and like adjusts dramatically, and I feel like tonight was one of those rare opportunities where he did. Like the start of the game, I truly was like, man, I was about to tweet and be like, you know what? I am going to not say anything. I'm not going to come in with any negative energy on Towns tonight. We're just going to let him play, and I'm going to judge him off of only tonight, not think about anything in the past, personality things, anything, just based off of his play. And right off the bat,
he makes it so hard.
Right off the bat, he does the little, like, he didn't do it egregiously, but he did try to kick out a little bit and get the call. And you can just tell it's like his instinct is to do that. And, and then he's doing these things where he's kind of trying to look like dribbling, and like just the way he like is waving the ball around and stuff like that. And I was like, I'm gone already. Like my good energy towards him is gone immediately. And I was so angry because I'm like, Towns, this is like one of the most important games of the year and you can't focus. But he did. He came back. He did. Even in like the second quarter, I tweeted something out negative about him, and immediately after that, it was like suddenly like he responded to it, and it was like, okay, good on him, because we need that from him all the time. And the numbers part of it to me, like, like 26 points, 11 rebounds, that I kind of expect from him, which is a high expectation, but that's what you get for being the top player on the team. And like 11 rebounds, I can deal with it or not. Like, I want him getting rebounds, but I also want them to be organic rebounds and like needed rebounds, not just like nothing. So, and also him and Vando go back and forth between getting rebounds and not getting rebounds. So, but yeah. And yes,
my favorite play from him was in the third quarter where he got the ball. He went to the corner where the Warriors bench is, and I'm like, oh, he's gonna do something stupid and fancy and like a fallback fadeaway 3 just to prove a point and like do his fucking like his celebration over there. And he kicked it to like Noel, who passed it to Beasley, who passed it to someone else who made a 3. And I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
That was awesome because he drove and he kicked it to the other corner, and I was like, that was so. Oh, it was Jaden who made the 3. It was so fucking impressive. I want that, not in healthy doses, but when it like like when it's kind of push comes to shove, like he makes the right read, and that was the right read. I like to see that.
And also, he took 20 exactly, but over 20 shots tonight.
That is our kind of our metric.
Yeah,
take over 20 shots.
I wonder how many games we've won with Towns scoring over 20 or shooting over 20 times, because I feel like it's probably 100%.
Oh yeah, maybe.
Because
and also
go ahead.
And also just winning the dunk stat.
True.
Like who had more dunks, who had more energy throughout the game. I was like, yeah, I think Towns kind of took it to the Warriors tonight. It was awesome to see. It felt like Looney and the bigs of Golden State they came to play versus him, and they pushed him out of his comfort zone, and it was really obnoxious to see. And then in the third quarter, he just took it to him. It was cool to see. It was great.
Yeah, and I think the thing now with him posting up, like, I have kind of begged for like some kind of a traditional big that is a little bit like Greg Monroe, who's a little bit stronger, and able to kind of body people in the paint like that. Towns just is not that person. He tries to be, and I don't know if that's Finch telling him to do that. I don't know if that's somebody else on the coaching staff telling him to do that, but I do wish that would stop. I do want him to be more of a shooter than a post player. He could have been he was a post player when he was heavier, but now it just doesn't work because, like you said tonight, I mean, like, he's getting bodied by Looney frequently, and luckily he started to make some, but like, man, it's just a struggle to see. I'd rather see him shoot 20 times from like the elbow or from 3, I that's what I want to see. So but yeah, or Nurkic, Momo.
I mean, I have not been thinking about that at all. It'd be cool to see maybe like a Nurkic off the bench, but yeah, I don't know what type of price tag that's gonna take, but
yeah, and I have no idea.
Portland does not look like they're having a season to remember. So they might be selling.
I have no clue what they have plans going forward through this season and throughout the next couple seasons, because they're in a bad spot. But well, that is our tier list tonight,
and probably our show. Like, we play the Knicks on Tuesday. I think we play the Hawks on Wednesday. Those are very interesting games that I will not be able to watch, unfortunately. I will not be around for that. And then I think our next game might be on the Sunday or Monday of the following week. So I'll be there for that. But I will not be watching the show. So, keep us informed, keep me informed at least of what's going on here, Timberwolves related. And don't forget to like, share, subscribe, reach out to us on Twitter if you're bored and desperate for attention. We'll give it to you.
Or our Discord. I don't know if you said that already, but our Discord, which I keep forgetting to go into. We are still at 99 followers, so feel free to tell your friends. But yeah, Okogie, Layman, and Nas for Nurkic. People are really suddenly down on Nas. So bad. And not that I disagree, but, it's just happened very suddenly. He had 9 points and 9 rebounds tonight. God, he had the second most rebounds on the team tonight. That's insane. Anyways, let's see. Oh, now we've got the spam, except it's not.
Now we got the spam.
Now it's not as exciting as Cooper's spam, though. They were talking about like online stripping or something. But anyways, before we get taken off of YouTube, I appreciate everybody for watching. As always, another Timberwolves win. We are in the 7th seed. One thing to think about going forward through the rest of the season, especially as we lose. Do we really want to be playing these middle teams that are not the 1 and 2 seeds? Because we've played pretty well against both not Oklahoma City, but against Golden State and against the Suns. So do we want to be a 7 or 8 seed? Who knows? But anyways, I appreciate everybody as always. I don't know if I'm going to be back Tuesday or Wednesday, possibly one of the 2 days or maybe 2 of the days. But as always, keep you posted on Twitter, Discord, everywhere else. I think that's all from me. Any final thoughts from you?
No.
All right.
Stay classy, Wolves fans.
And
thanks for tuning in.
Yes, it was a very successful, unsuccessful, as Dave Ben says. Intro is the outro. We'll see you sometime.